Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Downtime Distractions. This time you're joined with me, Mung, and today we're going to look at a game called Castle Torgeath: Descent into Darkness. It's basically a action role playing game, first person adventure survival dungeoneering sort of game. Um, just before we start playing this game and seeing how it's like, it is developed by a game company called Dungeoneering Studios. Currently, three developers, and this is early access game. So, what you're going to see here is not the fully developed game, but I think they've done a pretty good job. Just starting. So, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. Okay, so here we are inside Castle Torgeath. As you can see, the game is pretty atmospheric. I really dig it. Now, I've played a few hours of this game, and this is not quite the introduction, but you do start off with a torch and a sword to defend yourself. Now, the game is actually very nicely textured. I really like the textures of the game, and I really like the atmosphere. The atmosphere is fantastic, along with the music as well. So as you can see, it's quite a action sort of role playing game, kind of like Skyrim, but it's a little bit on the basic level. You just have an attack at this point of the game, and you do have an inventory system, which I have a feeling they'll probably improve later to have a more, maybe better to have a sort of grid system, sort of like what Diablo does, would make things a bit more simpler. But at the moment, it's just list of things for weapons, foods, and keys. So just quickly going over the GUI interface, the bottom left-hand corner shows your health, your stamina, and your magic when you learn magic. The little round thing on the bottom left is actually a little icon to demonstrate your torch, how long your torch is going to last. And the only time you can actually get to be able to refill your torch is actually to look for another light source in the dungeon, and you can essentially just use it and it will refill that round thing with full kind of orange color. So the red is your health, the yellow is actually your hunger meter. So you do have to eat in this game. It is and that's the survival aspect of the game. So there's it's your typical movement controls, WSDA, and if you hold down shift you can run. The thing is, there is no ability to rest in this game, which I thought would be very cool if they did add that feature into the game. As you can see, the game's really dark, and if you don't have your torch on, you basically won't be able to see too much into the game. So we're just gonna walk around a bit. We're gonna head out further into the castle, do a bit more exploration. I do like where this game is going. It is very cool. So there you go. I've just relit my torch, and on the bottom left hand corner you can see that my little orange sphere is now filled up. Okay, so through door number 1. Okay, we're gonna keep going down. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, looks like there's some food there for me. Can I pick that up? Yeah. Oh, I think I can. Oh, there we go. See, so that's what I mean by this game still early access. There's a lot of things in this game where you're not really quite sure what you can pick up and what you can't pick up. So, as a note for the developers who are working on this, I think it would be very good if somehow make it a bit easier for users to understand what they know they can interact with. I'm sure it's probably a pretty basic thing to just have an item highlighted, or you know, a little word popping up, press E to pick up or something like that. Because when I first played this, it was a bit confusing. I wasn't sure what I could pick up and what I couldn't. Kind of like old school adventure games where everything was pixelated, where you sort of have to start clicking on everything until you're able to pick something up. So, not saying that that's a bad thing. Ooh, sounds like my guy's pretty hungry. Just gonna feed him. Not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, we are in 2016, and you know, games today has moved up a standard a little bit higher than what they used to be. So, if you could, if I know to developers, if you could change that, I think that would actually make the game a bit better. So in we go, darker places we go. Just gonna light my torch up again. Oh, looks like it's door number 2. Okay, yep. The door keeps. Okay. Die, you dirty rat. Yeah, and so that's another thing too about the game being not quite finished, is that the combat music comes up quite abruptly and then ends quite abruptly. I'm sure that could be easily fixed. Small things like that that really makes you understand that, oh, okay, this game's not quite done yet. So we're just gonna go kill another rat. There we go. Yeah, it's actually quite scary when the music just abruptly ends and starts. I think a little nice fade in and out would be nice too. Another thing too is in the combat is that I'm not quite sure when I'm being hurt. All I know is from the sound effects of the guy. Ooh, looks like there's some carrots there for me. And from the sound effects of the enemy being hurt. So I'm not really actually quite sure how close I am towards an enemy being hit or how far I can get away from their attacks. So again, early access, note to developers, would be nice if the screen kind of flashed a little red to know that I've actually gotten hurt. Maybe have some numbers popping up on the enemies when you attack them, you know, that would be nice too. So I'm gonna kill this disgusting spider. Not sure what that. Yeah, there was a bit of a. I think, did that mean I leveled? No, I'm not sure what that was. Okay, just gonna run down here. Down into the deeper depths of the castle. So yeah, some small little indicators in the combat to know when you've successfully attacked a monster and when you've been, hit and stuff. And it'll also be nice. Ooh, okay, it looks like I'm gonna need a key for this one. It'll also be nice if there was a block feature as well. I think most first-person kind of adventure role-playing games like this does include a blocking ability. So yeah, that would be nice if that was also a feature moving ahead. Another thing too is that I'm not sure if I've played this game long enough, but there's no map feature, so there's no way for me to know where I'm going except from my own brain or writing it down on a piece of paper, which is okay. But again, this is 2016. It's no longer in the 1980s. Drawing your own map thing is kind of fun, but I think it will actually put some people off by that because they like having the convenience of knowing where they've been and where they haven't been. But I'm not saying that should be a solution. It's just that it's a common thing to have in video games nowadays. Okay, that statue looks kind of scary. I think I'm gonna have to eat again. dogs. Yeah, so I didn't know I was hit until my guy made a sound there, so that's a little bit something they could probably improve on. Another thing about this is another good feature to have is if I could have an ability to sneak. I think, you know, if you're going to make a survival game, it would mean that you're going to want to avoid some combat. What's this? Security barracks. And I think adding a sneaking ability to sneak past enemies would be very cool. Okay, that looks like a trap. I ain't triggering that. So yeah, the game's very, very nice. I really like the atmosphere. It does put you on the edge a lot. But there's just so many little things that you need to fix. There's a lot of little things that I think they just need to put a bit more time into before trying to make any major features. Whoa, there's a lot of bits. Oh crap. Okay, that gave me a fright. Yeah, things like that. Like the music just abruptly starts, and I don't know if my heart can handle a lot more of those. Oh crap, there's another one. Yeah, I better heal up. This must be the key. Got a potion. Just run back. Yeah, there's also no stamina bar as well, so you can pretty much run as much as you can. This guy's a Superman in terms of stamina, but he doesn't last very long without food, which is quite fascinating. Looks like I'm almost out of light too, so I'm just gonna explore the rest of this room. Doesn't look like there's much. So see, a lot of these little details like the beds and stuff are very nicely done. You know, definitely kudos to the artists of the Dungeoneering Studios. I think he or she has done a pretty good job with that. Yeah, so let's see if the key will unlock that place, that little lock that we found. So yeah, there's definitely lots to do in this game, and I do feel the game's quite big for an early access game. It does feel like there's a lot to do, but there's still just quite a few small little bugs. Maybe the developers might want to consider hiring a tester or something or getting just some volunteers to test and let them know about these things, because I don't know if... Okay, I think I'm lost. This is not the same place, and there's some chests and stuff there. Damn. Okay, I do remember those weird goat heads. I don't remember seeing goat heads last time. Let's see if we can find that place, shall we? Yeah, it's still very early access. There's small little bugs, which I hope it's just easy to fix, and there's nothing to that, but you know, as soon as you see those things, you immediately get the idea that this is an early access game. Expect things to be a bit broken. Okay, so I am kinda lost. Is this the right place? I have no recollection of this place. I feel like I'm Gandalf and Mordor trying to decide which way to go. Ah, here we go. Lucky. Always follow the nose. Okay, so what do we got in here? Okay, there's some light there. I'm trying to hit what's the light. And there's a spider right there. So at the moment, the tactics is pretty simple. It's sort of like a hit and run kind of tactics for this game. Which, you know, if things kind of don't change up a little bit more, might get a little bit boring after a few hours. It's another locked cage. light's gonna die. I have to get light. Bring on the light. Aziz light. I do not like what's looking down there. There we go. That does not look very healthy. And on that note, I will end this gameplay for now. So, Castle Torgeath. Just gonna end it there, and I'll do a little bit of conclusion. Hope you enjoyed this little segment. So that was Castle Torgeath, Descent into Darkness. And that is very true, because that is the part of the game I really liked, was that it was actually really dark and the atmosphere was really, really well done. The texturing is very, very nice. Really like that. The gameplay itself is actually pretty simple, pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but I do feel there's a lot to do for an early access game, which is very cool. Yeah, I do. The combat's a bit basic, but it's okay for what it is and for, you know, a team of 3 developing it. However, in saying that, I don't know if I would recommend you guys to go buy this game for its early access straight away. For the price that they're charging, you could easily get a complete game, or a game that is much more further progressed in the early access. I would say hold out for this game. I would say follow and check on their updates, and see, you know, how they're progressing, and maybe once they've progressed to the point where it's a bit more polished, then I would say give this game a go. But right now, it's still, there's a lot to do, you can do, but it's still unpolished, and it's funny, those little unpolished things can really put you off and stop playing the game. Simple things like the music, as I was talking about, how it just abruptly starts and abruptly cuts off. And I know there's a lot of people would find that actually quite annoying more than atmospheric, as you say. You know, there's a lot of aesthetics things that can improve one, but I think that's okay. It's actually quite there. I mean, this game doesn't have to be AAA type of quality in terms of the aesthetic side of things, but there's just a lot of small little things that can really enhance the game that I hope the developers take note of from my video and improve on. So I do recommend and not recommend this game. It's hard to explain it, but I don't think you should go out and buy this game straight away. Just wait out, follow the developers, see where they're going progress with, you know, see how far they've got to go, and then when the game's complete, then I would recommend you actually give this game a go. But right now, hold off and keep yourself updated on this game. So yeah, that's it. That's Castle Torgeath, Descent into Darkness from Dungeoneering Studios. I hope you guys like this video. I do hope that this game progresses a lot more, and maybe when the game's finally complete, and I hope the developers listen, took some of my ideas into play, I think it's going to be a very good game. So again, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time for another video.